Most people spend their entire lives waiting for the big break. They're waiting for the phone call, the viral moment, the lucky connection, the miracle opportunity that finally changes everything. They live as if success is something that happens to you, not something you build. And that belief quietly destroys more potential than failure ever could. Because when you believe success is external, you give away your power. Here's the truth most people never want to hear. Success is not something you pursue, it's something you attract by the person you become. And until you change who you are, nothing you chase will ever stay. Every single morning, whether you realize it or not, you wake up to a blank white canvas. No excuses painted on it, no mistakes written in advance, just space, pure potential. Most people don't treat it that way. They grab whatever color is closest and start throwing paint at it. They react to their phone before their feet touch the floor. They react to the news, to messages, to deadlines, to other people's priorities. By the end of the day, their canvas is full, but it's chaos, a messy blur of busyness, distraction, and regret. And then they wonder why, year after year, nothing really changes. Jim Rohn taught that success is not an accident. It's not luck. It's not magic. It's a predictable outcome, a math equation. Small disciplines, practiced consistently over time, always lead to extraordinary results. The problem is that small disciplines don't feel heroic. They don't give you dopamine. They don't get applause. And so people ignore them. They chase the giant leap instead of the quiet adjustment. But trajectories don't change with explosions. They change with degrees. A few micro adjustments repeated daily will move you from average to exceptional faster than any dramatic overnight move ever could. Let's start with the most invisible force in your life, your attitude. In America, we worship hustle. We glorify exhaustion. We celebrate grinding ourselves into the ground. But hustle without the right attitude is just noisy failure. You can work hard and still go nowhere if your internal thermostat is set wrong. Your attitude determines how you interpret reality, and interpretation becomes behavior. If your default setting is cynical, defensive, or bitter, you will find a problem in every solution. You won't need enemies. Your mindset will sabotage you just fine. The elite don't just stay positive. That's a shallow idea. They cultivate a problem-solving mindset. When things go wrong, and they always do, the average person asks, "Why is this happening to me?" The achiever asks, "What does this make possible?" That one question changes everything. It turns obstacles into raw material. It turns setbacks into strategy. Your mind is like a garden. If you don't deliberately plant seeds of gratitude, responsibility, and optimism, negativity will grow automatically. You don't have to invite weeds. They show up on their own. Next is communication, the art of building bridges. You can have the best ideas in the world, but if you can't express them, you're invisible. Ideas don't win. Execution doesn't win. Influence wins. And influence is built through communication. In the corporate and entrepreneurial world, the most powerful person in the room is rarely the loudest. It's the one who listens with intention, the one who understands before trying to be understood. Jim Rohn said communication is not just what you say, it's how people feel when you say it. That means you can't just talk at people, you have to connect with them. The highest level communicators understand something most people miss. Empathy is a skill, not a personality trait. You can learn it, you can practice it, you can master the language of connection. When you stop trying to impress and start trying to understand, doors open. When people feel seen, they move. When they feel heard, they follow. Success doesn't come from being the smartest person in the room. It comes from being the one who can align people around a vision. Then there's discipline, the bridge between dreams and reality. Everyone has dreams. Most people also have excuses. Dreams without discipline are hallucinations. They feel real, but they never materialize. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. Most people wait for motivation. Motivation is emotional. It's unreliable. It comes and goes. Discipline is structural. It's a system. It doesn't care how you feel.
Discipline is the alarm going off at 6 in the morning when it's raining and cold and you get up anyway. Discipline is doing 10 more minutes of focused work when your brain is begging you to scroll. Discipline is choosing the long-term benefit over the short-term comfort again and again. Jim Rohn said we all suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. And the tragedy is that regret doesn't show up immediately. It shows up years later when options are fewer and energy is lower. Now let's talk about mindset, because this is where most people are trapped without realizing it. Your brain is running on software that was installed a long time ago, beliefs given to you by parents, teachers, culture, or one bad boss who spoke carelessly and stuck with you. I'm not good with money. I'm not leadership material. I'm too old. I missed my chance. These are not facts, they're scripts, and most people live inside them for decades without ever questioning where they came from. These beliefs create self-imposed glass ceilings. You don't hit them physically, you hit them mentally, and you stop climbing before you ever reach your true capacity. Breaking them requires daily mental updates. You challenge the story, you interrogate the assumption. Every time you catch yourself saying, "I can't," you replace it with, "How can I?" That one question alone reactivates creativity. The moment you change your internal narrative, your external behavior shifts. And when behavior shifts consistently, results have no choice but to follow. Time is the final pillar, and it's the most unforgiving. Time is the only resource you can't get back, can't borrow, and can't negotiate with. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. The difference is not intelligence or talent, it's priority management. In this country, we wear busy like a badge of honor, but busy is often just disguised avoidance. It's motion without direction. Being busy feels productive, but it's usually a substitute for clear thinking. Managing your time is managing your life. It means deciding in advance what matters most and protecting it aggressively. It means saying no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great ones. Every morning, you should know your big three, the three actions that, if completed, would make everything else easier or irrelevant. Not 20 tasks, not endless to-do lists, 3 priorities. Focus creates force, distraction dissipates it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your life is not shaped by your intentions, it's shaped by your habits. What you do consistently matters more than what you believe occasionally. Success is not built in moments of inspiration, it's built in moments of decision. Quiet moments, boring moments, when no one is watching. That's where character is formed, that's where standards are set. When you stop chasing outcomes and start building identity, everything changes. You don't chase confidence, you keep promises to yourself until confidence shows up. You don't chase success, you develop the skills, discipline, and mindset that make success inevitable. You don't wait for clarity, you take action and let clarity catch up. Your canvas is waiting every morning. You can keep reacting, you can keep throwing paint, or you can pick up the brush with intention, one stroke at a time, one habit at a time, one disciplined choice at a time. Because when you become the kind of person who does the small things right, consistently, the world responds. Opportunities appear, doors open, not because you got lucky, but because you finally became someone ready to walk through them.
Wealth isn't just a number sitting in a bank account. It's not a car, a house, or a lifestyle you can post online. Wealth, at its highest level, is freedom. Freedom of time, freedom of choice, freedom of thought. And here's the uncomfortable truth most people never confront. You will never be truly free as long as you are a slave to your own ignorance. You can blame the economy, you can blame your upbringing, you can blame the system. But the fastest way to change your bank account has always been the same. Change your library. Change what you feed your mind. Because money flows toward clarity, competence, and value, not wishful thinking. Most people were taught to believe that education ends when school ends. Get the diploma, get the job, and coast. That mindset might have worked in a slower, simpler world. It doesn't work now.
In a fast-paced economy like the United States, skills have an expiration date. Knowledge has a half-life. What made you valuable 5 years ago may already be outdated today. If you are not intentionally learning, you are unintentionally becoming obsolete, and obsolescence is expensive. Jim Rohn's mentor, Mr. Schoaf, gave him a lesson that should be carved into stone. Your income will seldom exceed your personal development. That one sentence explains why so many hard-working people stay stuck. They grind, but they don't grow. They put in hours, but they don't upgrade themselves. The marketplace doesn't pay for effort, it pays for value. And value comes from skill, perspective, and problem-solving ability. Read the books that top performers read. Listen to voices that make you uncomfortable. Become a professional student of life. Because when you increase your value to the marketplace has no choice but to increase its reward to you. Self-education compounds. One book changes how you think. That new thinking changes your decisions. Those decisions change your habits. Those habits change your income. And most people quit before the compounding becomes visible. They read one book and expect a miracle. That's not how it works. Compounding is quiet. It's invisible at first, but over time, it becomes unstoppable. The wealthiest people in the world aren't just rich in money, they are rich in understanding. Now let's talk about money itself, because ignorance here is especially costly. Money is a phenomenal servant and a terrible master. Most people are mastered by money without realizing it. They spend first and save whatever's left, which is usually nothing. They increase their lifestyle every time their income increases, and then they wonder why they still feel trapped. The American dream quietly turns into a financial nightmare through lifestyle creep. Bigger house, newer car, more subscriptions, more pressure. True financial success starts with stewardship, not income. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep and how intelligently that money works for you. Mastering money means telling it where to go instead of wondering where it went. One of the most powerful frameworks ever created is the 70-30 rule. Live on 70% of what you earn. Use the remaining 30% intentionally for saving, investing, and giving. This isn't about restriction, it's about control. When your money works while you sleep, you buy back your time, and time is the real currency. Wealth without discipline collapses, wealth without purpose corrupts, and wealth without growth becomes empty. Which brings us to the evolution of self. If you are the same person today that you were a year ago, something is wrong. Growth is not optional. Growth is evidence of life. Anything that stops growing starts dying. That applies to businesses, relationships, and human beings. Personal development isn't one big breakthrough. It's a Lego building process, one small piece at a time. One piece of emotional intelligence, one piece of technical skill, one piece of physical health, one piece of mental resilience. Individually, those pieces look insignificant. Over time, they become a fortress. And when life hits, and it will, you don't collapse, you adapt, you adjust, you advance. Success is not something you chase, it's something you become. And if you want more, you must be more. But growth without direction becomes motion without meaning. That's where purpose comes in. Without a why, the how is too heavy. Purpose is what carries you when motivation disappears. Purpose is what keeps you moving when the market crashes, when your startup fails, when people doubt you, when the results are slow. Most people are drifting. They go where the wind blows. They react instead of design. Living with intent means you have a compass. You know your values. You know what you stand for. You know what you will not compromise. In the American marketplace, people don't just buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Consumers feel it, partners sense it, teams follow it. Purpose creates alignment. Alignment creates trust. Trust creates momentum. When your work is connected to something bigger than your ego, you unlock an energy source that doesn't run dry. Purpose turns pressure into privilege. And then there is the most overlooked and underestimated force of all. Gratitude. Radical gratitude.
Gratitude is not passive, it is not weakness, it is power. Gratitude is the frequency of abundance. You cannot be grateful and fearful at the same time. You cannot be grateful and angry at the same time. Gratitude changes your nervous system. It lowers stress hormones. It expands creativity. It sharpens perception. In a high-pressure society, we are obsessed with the next milestone, the next level, the next mountain. We forget to turn around and look how far we've already climbed. Gratitude anchors you. It grounds you. It reminds you that progress is happening even when perfection is not. And here's the paradox. When you genuinely appreciate what you already have, you create a vacuum that pulls more opportunity toward you. Not because of magic, but because gratitude changes how you show up. You become calmer, sharper, more generous, more attractive to opportunity. Wealth, purpose, growth, discipline, and gratitude, these are not separate ideas. They are architecture. They work together. Remove one pillar and the structure weakens. Most people try to build wealth without wisdom, or purpose without discipline, or growth without patience. That's why they collapse under pressure. Success is not a destination you arrive at one day. It's a way of traveling. It's a standard you live by. And it always begins with a decision. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, right now. A decision to take responsibility for your mind, your money, your growth, and your direction. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. That's another illusion that keeps people stuck. Take one habit, just one. Commit to it for 30 days. Read 10 pages a day. Track your spending. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Write down what you're grateful for each morning. Invest in one skill. Master that one habit. Watch how your self-respect increases. Watch how your confidence changes. Watch how people respond to you differently. Momentum will follow. Jim Rohn said, "You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. And direction sustained long enough changes everything." Your future is not waiting on luck, it's waiting on leadership. And the first person you must learn to lead is yourself.